Yo, what's good, everybody? You already know what time it is. It's your boy Sports Dad, and listen, I'm going to be giving camp reviews, football camp reviews. You already know what to do. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share the information with someone, because I'm pretty sure that there's someone in your family, or a friend, or neighbor that's going through the recruiting process and that can find this information useful. And I'm going to actually start out with Central. So in this particular segment, we're going to talk about Central Michigan University and how their camp was. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Okay, right off the back, what I like about Central Michigan University is that as soon as you're walking up to the actual stadium, they have staff ready to meet you and ready to direct you and ready to send you wherever you need to go, so that you don't have to guess or whatnot. And when you walk into the building, they had the tables and everything all set and ready to go. Check-in was super duper easy. You didn't have to stand in line and nothing like that. Okay. And one of the things that I talked about earlier in my channel, and I did a video on this, is choosing the right high school. And the reason why you want to choose the right high school, because you want to make sure that you're sending your child to a reputable program. Typically, what happens when you have a reputable high school program and it's a good coach, typically they are connected with college coaches. And you want to be able to get your child connected to that. If your child has the ability to play at the next level and they have everything else, the grades and the huddle to show that they can actually go, the only other thing you need is the word to go behind you. That is why it's super important to ensure that your kids are going to the right high school. I see too many parents allowing their children to make the decision on what high school that they want to go to based off of their friends are going to and things like that. And I've also seen parents making mistakes on what school to send their child to. Okay. So at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're sending your child to a reputable program, because number one, you don't want your child to always think that it's going to be easy. There's never going to be any competition. Number two, you want to be able to connect them with someone that has connection to college coaches, right? And typically, if it's a good, reputable high school program, the high school coach is connected to colleges. Okay. And then number three, it just makes them better and it puts them in a position to be able to compete at a high level, so that they'll be already used to the college form, the camp form, because when you go to the camps and when you go to the college, there's going to be kids that are just like your child or just like the other athlete. And then they're going to have to compete to be able to stand out. And so that's what I like about going to reputable programs, because typically if you have if your kid is a great athlete, then there's also other great athletes that he can compete with. So, and just let me back up a little bit. So, with partnering with my son's high school coach, Coach Scott Merchant of Chippewa Valley, he gave out some really good information. He said, he gave out some really good information. He indicated that, hey, if you got coaches that are in your Twitter inbox sending you flyers and things like that, those are the camps that you really want to try and target. Because any other camps that you're going to try and target, if the coach don't know who you are, then you're taking a real shot in the dark. You want to try to get to the camps where the college coach knows you, where they're expecting you, where they are familiar with you. And if they have taken the time to jump into your Twitter inbox, because that means that they're taking an interest in you, that they're watching you, and that your huddle caught their eye. So there's a slight chance that you may be on their recruiting board. So this particular school definitely sent my son an invite in his Twitter inbox. So once we registered for the camp, I reached out to Coach Merchant and I said, hey, Coach, the recruiting coordinator sent my son a flyer and suggested that he show up to the camp. And Coach Merchant said, okay, thanks. I'll take it from here. And so what he did was basically he reached out to Central Michigan University and let them know, like, hey, your recruiting coordinator reached out to one of my kids, and, I want to talk a little bit about that. So he tapped into his connections at Central Michigan University and let them know, like, hey, I'm going to send one of my guys up there. Hopefully I want to send one of my guys up there that I want you to take a look at, that I think will be a great asset to your program. He put in a good word for my son, and what made it easier is that my son had the huddle highlights to go along with it. And so once he got there, once he actually got there, and when he was checking in, they asked him, they said, "What is your name?" And they started to let him know, "Hey, we know who you are. We spoke to Coach Scott Merchant. We also checked out your huddle." And that's basically what they referred to in the beginning of the camp. And that actually felt really good. And so when they transitioned him, when they took him to other parts of the school, handing him off to different coaches, every coach knew who he was. So they actually already confirmed that they talked to Coach Scott Merchant, which is a good thing. And so now all my son have to do is basically show these guys what he can do out there on the field, even though that they looked at the huddle. So some of you, so here, you see us. So this is a video where we actually checked in. Then they take him downstairs. Beautiful facility. Just let me back up and say that Central Michigan is they have a beautiful facility, beautiful weight room, beautiful stadium. Everything about that school is just. So you may be asking, like, okay, if they looked at his huddle and if they liked him, right? So why does he have to go out there and win him over on the field during the camp, during the workouts? That's a great question. I thought the same things. And that's why I said, like, camps are a little useless, but they're actually not. It is an opportunity for the coach to meet the kid face to face. Then also, too, to see if they're actually coachable or not. Because during these camps and during the drills, they're actually coaching them as if they already belong to the school. So with them actually coaching them, they're seeing if the kid is coachable and how receptive they are to giving direction. So not only are they being tested from a physical standpoint, an athletic standpoint, but they're also being tested mentally, personality wise, to see if they're a good fit with the school. Another cool thing that I like is that they got straight into it. They set up their camp, they set up their drills, each station, and they hit the station. Everything was like clockwork. The coaches introduced themselves. They got the kids really pumped up and all that stuff. It was just a real good family environment. They had the music going, so it was just really good energy, and and the kids were out there competing at a high level. The only thing that I can say that I really didn't care too much for at the Central Camp is that they did not have a lot of other college coaches there. Yeah. And I don't know if it was a COVID thing or whatnot, but they did not have a lot of other college coaches there as I've seen in the past. And so, so I think that could have been an effect of COVID. It was a few college coaches that were there, but not as many as they were before. And so after the camp was over, they got a chance to go through all of the drills and compete at a high level. And after the camp was over, they did get a chance to actually talk to the coach and build relationship with them and talk with them and let them know, give them their name and all that good stuff. And which is another key focal point, because you get to actually physically talk to the coach, and the coach would tell you like what they saw, or if they like you, or if they're still watching you during the regular season and things like that. And so my son went there and he had a great camp, great performance. They liked him. They actually told him like, "Hey, listen, we already know what you can do. We're going to be watching you," and things like that. Who knows what that can lead to? I don't know. I do know that they actually did offer another 2022 running back, and he actually did commit to the school, which is cool, pretty cool. They're being super duper careful with the offers that they send out for the 2022s right now because of COVID, and because those college players, because their existing college players have an additional year of eligibility because of COVID. So it was a good experience. My son got a chance to actually get his name out there, meet the coaches and things like that, and they build relationship with him so they know who he is. And so they're going to be probably watching him during the duration of the season. And if he does his thing, who knows what that can lead to. So the Central Camp, for me, it gets a thumbs up. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be giving a camp review on the colleges that we've experienced in 2021. So make sure that you stay tuned to the channel. Next up is Youngstown. So make sure that you stay tapped in with me.